What's going on, everybody? It's Nick Kosko with On3 Sports, another college wrestling preview, and this is the one everyone's been waiting for. Penn State, Iowa at Carver Hawkeye Arena on Friday night. Of course, that's on Big Ten Network. Everyone looks forward to this duel every single year. It seems like these are the two top teams every year, at least in terms of the dual meet format, or they're around the top two teams every year. Of course, Penn State, the perennial #1 program in college wrestling. Iowa ranked #3 this year. Doesn't get much better than this, and we're just going to go right down the list, 125 to heavyweight, how I see this match unfolding on Friday night. Again, going to be a good one. Can Iowa actually win this? There might be a path, but the way I see it, Penn State, in all likelihood, is going to take this one once again and keep that undefeated streak alive as well. So let's go right into it. 125, Braden Davis for Penn State. He's a freshman. He's #2 in the country. Drake Ayala, #7 in the country. These are two All-American candidates here for Penn State and Iowa, respectively. Ayala, of course, everyone knows he's the one who's taking over for Spencer Lee this year full-time, of course, after Lee finished his historic college career in 2023. This one, just because it's in Carver, and there is something weird about Carver Hawkeye Arena where it's one of those true home mat advantages. And again, I know Penn State's won in there before. Iowa's beaten Penn State at home before, vice versa in their long storied history. But you look at what the juice that brings to these wrestlers on both sides, really. But I think for this one, I really want to pick Davis, and he's ranked #2 for a reason. He's been steadily climbing the polls all season long, and it seems like the Nittany Lions finally figured out the 125 weight class. It's been a long time since they had a stalwart down low as well. I know they had Nick Suriano for the 1 year before he ended up transferring to Rutgers and eventually winning a national title there, and then with Michigan even a couple years after that. But they really have not been able to find a spot in the lineup where, or at least a guy in their lineup, in their room, that could take this mantle of 125 and really run with it. I know Robbie Howard's been a guy in there, but he's been banged up for the past couple of years, but he was maybe the guy that was going to take that next step forward to solidifying that weight class. But it looks like they found somebody in Braden Davis this year. But I'm going to lean towards Ayala right now, just because it's the home mat advantage. This could go obviously the other way. It's a toss-up bout, but I am going to lean Drake Ayala in this one at 125. So we'll just go straight down the line with these predictions. So I'll say decision for Ayala, 3-0 lead for Iowa. Then it goes into 133, a big one. Aaron Nagao of Penn State, Colin Shriver of Iowa. Nagao is the favorite right here. I know there's been some missteps with him as of late, but he's still a top 10 guy for a reason, All-American candidate as well. And heck, who knows? Maybe a national title contender when it's all said and done, because the Penn State guys always get up for March. But I'm going to lean Nagao in this one. I would say also by decision. I don't see any bonus points right now through the first two matches. So we're going to look at maybe a 3-3 score after two bouts. Of course, this is great, of course, that this match does start at 125, which I would not anticipate any other way. Of course, 141, 1 versus 2, Bo Bartlett, Real Woods, for Penn State and Iowa, respectively. Woods dropped from his #1 spot and his undefeated record with that loss to Michigan's Sergio Lemley last weekend. So Bartlett is a guy who's just been, he's knocking on the door of being that the favorite to win that national title. This could very well be your national title preview, your Big Ten final preview, your national title preview when it comes to the tournaments in March 1 and 2 right now. Bartlett, very hard to score on him. He seems like, just based on what I've read, listened to, and watched, he's more explosive, and having watched him, of course, up close and personal for the past couple of years, he seems to be way more explosive when it comes to the freestyle scene, folk style, a little bit safer. And again, this is just a collection of opinions and analysis that I'm kind of just putting together on Bo Bartlett, but he is extremely hard to score on. He's one of the toughest wrestlers in the country, pound for pound, when it comes to just getting him out of position. It just does not happen. He's so technically sound. Real Woods, same thing, very explosive. I know he's been maybe struggling a little bit. He just did not look good at all against Sergio Lemley just last week. But again, it's in Carver Hawkeye. This match could go a long way. Now, in the end, does this match mean much in the grand scheme of things, this individual bout? Maybe not, maybe at least for seeding. But I mean, these two guys can see each other again at 141 in the Big Ten finals for all we know. And then it can go the opposite way of Friday night. And then all of a sudden you have the rubber match in the NCAA finals. It's very possible. That's at least how I see it. Of course, as a side note, let's not rule out Jesse Mendez of Ohio State as well. Yeah, he's number 3 for a reason in the country. He's hanging around those guys as well. But I'm going to lean Woods here to get this win, and he'll get back to that number 1 spot. But again, it's 1 versus 2. Could go either way. Decision for me. I'll take Woods in this one. 6'3" Iowa, 149. Tyler Kasich, Caleb Rathjen for Iowa. So that's Kasich. He's also a freshman for Penn State. He's now in the top 10. Again, another toss-up, 10 versus 12 here in the Intermat rankings. I'll lean Kasich in this one. I think this is a duel that's going to truly go back and forth early on. A lot of decisions, and really no bonus points here. And again, we are going by the projected matchups here. I'll lean Kasich in this one. He's been very impressive since taking over that 149 spot. And I believe if he does wrestle Friday, it would burn his red shirt. But again, he's ranked 10th in the country. He's a freshman. Cael Sanderson can do whatever you want with these lineups, and we really won't bat an eye about it. So I believe if this is the one that would burn his red shirt, I'd be stunned actually if he doesn't wrestle. With the way he's wrestling right now, he's a podium candidate. And if it helps Penn State chase a historic team score at NCAAs in Kansas City, then you might as well keep him in the lineup right now, because I think he is the go-to guy right now. So Kasich, I would say by decision 6'6", then we'll go to 157. It will be Levi Haynes for Penn State, number 1 in the country, and Jared Franek, number 5 in the country for Iowa. Haynes, last year's NCAA runner-up. Franek was very good with North Dakota State, and All-American with the Bison. He's only gotten a little bit better here with Iowa as well. It's just so hard for me to pick against Levi Haynes. He's 11-0 on the season. I really didn't want to pick against him last year, and in fact, if I remember correctly, I picked him to win one of the big tournaments, if not both of them. I think I had him winning Big Tens, maybe unless he won Big Tens out in Ann Arbor, and then I ended up actually having him win NCAAs. I forget actually how I mapped it out, but I know I had him winning one of those big tournaments and being one of the top 2 guys in the country as a freshman. He was just so impressive to me when I watched him wrestle at Big Tens, when I really got to see him up close and personal for multiple matches in a single day. Of course, then in NCAAs, he was just dominant, of course, until he runs into Austin O'Connor, who won his 2nd national title for North Carolina last year as well. But I'm going to lean Levi Haynes right here. No bonus points. I think Franek is just way too solid to give up bonus points to Levi Haynes. You might see like this is like one of those 6'2", 6'3", maybe like a 7'3", 7'4" type of match. I'll lean Levi Haynes right here. So I'm going to go 9-6 Penn State at the halfway point here. 165. This is where it gets really interesting. And this is another one of those toss-up bouts where Iowa's going to have to win this one to stay in the duel. You have Mitchell Messenbrink of Penn State. Again, another freshman. He's undefeated, has yet to lose. Mikey Caliendo for Iowa, 19-1. Messenbrink is 7 in the country. And then you have Caliendo, number 6. I got to lean Messenbrink right here. I know I just mentioned the home advantage for Iowa, but the way Messenbrink is just wrestling this year, I love Caliendo. He's very athletic. He's very quick. He's a very quick twitch type of wrestler. Very tough, very sound. I love his aggressiveness and his attacks, but Messenbrink, I think, is just too solid this year so far based on what I've seen. And again, this is where the dominance of Penn State starts to take over. You look at the Need Lions, and you're like, okay, the toss-up bouts, they usually win most of these toss-up bouts, but against a tough team like Iowa, who's arguably the 2nd best or 3rd best team in the country, depending upon how you look at it, depending upon what rankings you look at, you're like, okay, these toss-up bouts, I mean, it has to be pretty even down the line, right? I mean, yeah, Penn State's going to dominate in some areas, but Iowa's got to win some of these, 6 versus 7 or 1 versus 2 bouts. Like, they have to win them, right? Not necessarily, because I think just Penn State is just more technically sound. They do take chances, but just like anytime we see these types of duels, Penn State always has that slight mental edge. And I think I'm going to give it to Messenbrink right here. So a 12-6 lead for Penn State after 165, 174. This is where Iowa's going to start to get into a little bit of trouble right here. Carter Starachi, one of the most dominant wrestlers in the country. He's one of my favorite guys to watch for Penn State. I mean, I have to go back and forth every day, and we'll get into him in a second, between Starachi and Aaron Brooks as to who is the most talented wrestler on that Penn State roster right now, pound for pound. Some days I go Starachi, other days I go Aaron Brooks, when I just see the ease of Aaron Brooks, the way he wrestles, and just he makes it look too easy. Starachi does the exact same thing. He's so aggressive. He's so tough, so physical. I hope he actually goes the MMA route at some point down the line in the next couple of years, because he's going to be an absolute star, like a former Penn State guy in Bo Nickel. These Penn State guys, they're just breeding national champions, and of course breeding potential UFC champions as well. So I'm going to go Starachi right here. It would not surprise me at all if he actually majors Patrick Kennedy right here. Now Kennedy, 10-3, number 7 in the country, extremely good. I love Kennedy. I think he actually will. But at least as of right now, I could pick him to be on the All-American podium right now at 174, but I have a funny feeling Starachi's just going to be able to turn it up. He gets the major decision. I'm going to call it right here. So Penn State goes up 16-6 going into 184. And again, Iowa up against it right here. Aiden Riggins, unranked by the Intermat rankings. Bernie Truex fell to number 6 this week. He got pinned by Ryder Rogotsky of Ohio State last week. He was winning that match kind of handily, and Rogotsky able just to kind of flip him and whip him over and stick him for that pin when the Buckeyes took on the Lions. But I'm going to go Truex right here. You probably will see bonus points here. At least there's a good chance of a bonus point victory here for Truex, but I'll give Riggins the benefit of the doubt. Again, wrestling tough. I'm going to give Truex the decision. So it's a 19-6 lead for Penn State going into the final 2 weights. And then that, again, you have two more number ones for Penn State coming up. Aaron Brooks against Zach Glazier, who's been a really nice surprise for Iowa. Maybe not a surprise to those who are in and around the Iowa program, but there was all that AJ Ferrari discussion. Will he come in? Won't he come in? Obviously, the two of them wrestled at that Soldier Salute tournament. A lot of controversy surrounding that, at least, based on what social media is going to tell you. But it's a lot of, noise surrounding that weight class for Iowa all year. But Glazier's settled in quite nicely. Again, 19-0 on the season, 11 in the country. He's going to wrestle really well, has a good chance to make the podium, if not finish up higher on the podium when it comes to NCAAs in March. But Aaron Brooks, like I said, just on a different level. Would not be surprised if he turns this one up to a major decision. So I had this one. Let's see. Let me go back real quick. I had 16-6 Srirachi, and then I had Truex getting the win there. It's 19-6. So I could see this one being a major decision for Aaron Brooks as well. I'm going to go a major for Brooks, 23-6 right now. Again, the only matches so far I have for Iowa winning this one are at 140. Drake Ayala and Real Woods. As far as that is concerned, I just think Penn State's going to win the toss-ups in the middle. Then heavyweight, Ben Keeter was teased on the promo, I believe I saw on social media. He's the freshman heavyweight, only 2-0 on the season. Their regular starting heavyweight, Bradley Hill, is ranked 29th in the country. It would be interesting to see Keeter out there. It wouldn't burn his red shirt. I know he's a football star as well, or maybe a budding football star for the Iowa Hawkeyes, but he was a 4-time Iowa State champion for a reason. They love him in this room. I think it would be fun for the fans to see what he can do against a guy in Greg Kirkvliet, who's going to be the national title favorite when it comes to NCAAs in Kansas City. Again, I got Kirkvliet winning this one. I'll just go decision right now, because I am unsure whether they're going to throw Keeter out there. They'll throw Hill out there as they listed an either or there in the projections. Otherwise, it's pretty straightforward. But I'll have Kirkvliet winning this one and Penn State ultimately winning this one 26-6. Now, again, I have Iowa winning at 125 and 141. This could very well go a 10-0 route for Penn State. They could, I shouldn't say easily, but they could very well shut Iowa out. And it's weird to see that on paper. It's weird to say that out loud considering how good Iowa is, but Penn State just matches up really well, even with the best teams in the country. Now, again, I have Ayala in an upset over Braden Davis. I have Real Woods mildly upsetting Bo Bartlett. So it's 2 upsets right there for Iowa. And then some of the toss-ups like a 157 and a 165 between Haynes and Franek, and, of course, Messenbrick and Caliendo. I just have Penn State winning those right now in a 26-6 final. Now, those could go the other way. If you just flip those other 2 right there, that's a 12-point swing. And then you take away 6 from Penn State right there, and then you add 6 to Iowa. It's much closer, 20-12. It looks like on paper, if my math is correct off the top of my head, much closer right there. But again, I think that would be Iowa's best case scenario, probably a 6-4 split. They get the wins at 25, 41, 57, and 65. And again, 49 is also another toss-up, so that's where you maybe get your 5-5 split. But I just think the toss-ups are going to go Penn State's way on Friday night. But again, you get that 5-5 split, anything can happen. That would be Iowa's best case scenario. I don't see them getting better than a 5-5 split. Again, 5-5 would be their best case scenario, and that would include, again, the upsets at 25 and 41. And then you have to look at 49, 57, and 65 as the toss-ups, because once you get to 74, it's going to be pretty much all Penn State in my mind. You can almost chalk up 74 to heavyweight as 4 wins right there for the Nittany Lions. So Iowa's going to have to do some damage early on. But it should be a good duel. I hope it's a really good duel. I hope it's really close just for the entertainment value of it and for those watching at home and, of course, for those in attendance out in Iowa City. That'll do it for us. Again, Penn State, I have winning this one 26-6. A bit of a rout, but I think a lot of these matches are going to be really close. And again, we're another great night of Friday Night Wrestling here in the Big Ten. I'm Nick Kosko for On3 Sports.